Hello and welcome to episode 173 of Heroes of Handheld. This is your weekly platform for all things handheld gaming, whether that be Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation Vita, iOS and Android and more. My name is Chris and I'm joined by the guy with the hair that just won't gel. It's Colin Byrne.
Hey, I think my hair looks pretty chic today.
It cut since we last spoke.
Yeah, about 3 months ago, because it's been so long since we last spoke. I'm surprised you know my name. It was like ages since we had.
I had to look you up on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And send me a what can you do on LinkedIn? What's the thing on there? You can't poke anyone.
You can send. I think it's called like in mail or something.
Oh God,
I don't know. Let's be honest. No one's ever actually got a job on it.
In mail. that makes you want to kick a kitten. Oh, that's horrible. LinkedIn. There was something you could do though, wasn't there? You could send like annoying notifications, and the thing with LinkedIn.
You could. I know what you mean now. You could add people's like skills and abilities.
Yeah.
So you can recommend people. So the gag was always like Colin Byrne, radio producer, and you'd put like, oh, I recommend Colin if you have any kids' magic parties you need doing. That's
Oh, LinkedIn. We hardly knew you. I'm assuming it's still a thing. Actually, I think I got an email recently saying that my account got hacked or something. Yeah. Anyway,
great.
Cool story, bro. Right. So, what are we talking about LinkedIn? What's this about? Social media poking?
I can't remember. But how are you? Are you well? What have you been playing?
I'm good. Now, to be honest, I've not really been playing much. The main thing I've been playing is Everybody's Golf. Honestly, I must be sounding like a broken record now. I absolutely love that game. It's so good. But I'm playing the challenge mode, which is the single player game mode. And you go through, there's different levels, and there's 5 courses, well, not courses, but 5 rounds of golf you have to play in each level. And then by beating them all, you get stars, and then you progress. I'm currently on silver, which is obviously the second one from the top, I think. Honestly, some of these courses, I don't know how they passed health and safety, to be honest. They really are quite something. Like, you're playing on top of mountains and cliff tops. It's like 80-foot drop plummets into like rough seas below. It's like, how did they even? I know it's a game, but honestly, if this was something that was real, it would never be allowed. And like, if your ball was to fall off the course, there'd be no way of retrieving it. Like, you couldn't go down into the sea, just like dive into the sea and hit your ball there. It's just crazy. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's getting to the point now where I'm rage quitting Everybody's Golf, because like, there's no more frustrating when you think you've hit a perfect shot, but then the wind takes it a little bit too far.
Oh no!
It goes into the water, and you get the out of bounds. And what that means is you have to start from the beginning, and you also get +3. So how are you supposed to get par if you're getting +3s, Chris? I tell you, really, it's the most frustrating thing. But I keep going back. Like, it takes me like 24 hours to cool down, and then I'm straight back on it. Honestly, I love golf games. If anyone else can recommend me an even better golf game on PlayStation Vita, I want to hear it, because I don't think there is. I think Everybody's Golf is one of the best. It's one of the best golf games I've ever played. And I've played Super Mario Golf, so I'm not saying that lightly. I think I played about 2 minutes of Super Mario Golf on my old 2DS back in the day. I think I downloaded the demo and.
What, you had a 2DS?
Yeah, I think we all forget that. Played it for about 2 minutes. I started Pokemon X, and then that was about it. Shit got old pretty fast. But talking of Nintendo products, I'm going to go straight into a news article, and then after that we'll talk about what you've been playing, because I know what you've been playing, but I'm sure you want to tell the dear listeners about it as well. So Nintendo Switch is a thing, and it's been out for a couple of weeks now, and it's selling really, really well. We keep seeing articles about how well it's selling. It's beat the Wii U. It's comparable to the Wii sales figures. Apparently, it's really doing well. You can't buy one anywhere at the moment. I walked into a game store recently, and there wasn't anything there. Like the Joy-Con controllers, the Switches, some of the games. There's just big stickers everywhere saying "coming soon." you know? And it's really good to see that people are enjoying it, or I assume they're enjoying it. People are at least buying it, so people really are loving the idea. But we've got a few bits of news from the world of Nintendo Switch. And I want to start off with sort of disappointing news, but also exciting news as well. The good side of this is that a game has now been confirmed for Nintendo Switch. The bad news is that the Wii U version has been scrapped. This game is called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's been confirmed that was it a game that you were going to pick up on your Wii U? Were you?
Well, I do. Bloodstained is meant to be quite good fun. I was quite looking forward to playing it. But continue.
Yeah, I remember this game. It was funded through Kickstarter, wasn't it? And it was huge. It made a lot of money very quickly. It's still apparently coming to Vita, which is obviously the main thing here. But there was an update on the Kickstarter page for the game, and the quote was, "During our Kickstarter campaign, the Wii U was at the height of its popularity, but the situation has drastically changed after the release of the Nintendo Switch." And this is from designer Koji Irishi Igarashi. I think I'm probably butchering that name. He also said this change made it difficult to receive the necessary support from the hardware maker, which has led us to drop the Wii U development and shift the development to the Nintendo Switch. So this is actually quite disappointment. This is quite disappointing. I mean, you've still got a Wii U, or have you traded in your Wii U? I don't know.
I've still got my Wii U.
You haven't played it in a while, though, have you?
I played a little bit of what is it called? Darksiders. I've been playing every now and then.
That's
but it's
good.
not amazing.
Are you saying the Wii U's not amazing, or the game's not amazing?
Darksiders not amazing. It's okay, but it's like I only really play it when I can't be bothered to go downstairs.
Great. You know what would be really handy if there was like gaming devices in every room of our houses. Surely that would be the best thing, like have a Vita on the side, or a Wii U, or a Switch. So if you just can't be bothered to move to the next room, you can just pick it up and play. You know, surely that is the ideal situation in life.
Yeah, or if you were able to, I don't know, like play something on your telly and then move it around the house with you.
That's a crazy idea. It'll never work. Never. Crazy.
Anyway, so what's happening with Bloodstained?
So Bloodstained, it's not going to Wii U, it's going to Switch. And if people had backed it and were wanting it on the Wii U, they can either switch their support to the Switch version, or they can ask for a refund. So you know you're still going to get your money back, or you can get it on Nintendo Switch. It's not a massive problem. I would imagine that most people with a Wii U are probably the sort of people who would buy the Nintendo Switch as well. I know obviously you haven't got a Nintendo Switch, but I don't know. I'd say most people with a Wii U would also be people interested in the Switch. But then maybe not. If people are a bit disappointed by the Wii U and how they've sort of like ceased making games for it now, maybe they're a bit unhappy with Nintendo. I don't know. Anyway, but that game's coming to Switch now, and it's cool because this game will look really nice on Switch, I reckon. But disappointing if you had a Wii U. Right, so let's quickly do. You know what? I'm not going to do another Switch story yet, because I want to know what you've been playing this week, Chris.
Well, I'm a bit of a broken record on this. I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn still.
Get over it. No one cares. Anyway, go on.
I can't remember when we last properly spoke. Was it out?
Yes, you were already playing it. I think you just started it and you were loving it.
I think it just arrived.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's dope. It's so good, and it's so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Which device, which console are you playing this on?
It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
That's the joke. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So yeah, it's great, and it's like just this amazing mix of strategy, stealth, combat, open world. It's like a very light RPG elements to it, kind of inventory and gear management and stuff. Aloy is the main character, and she's really good. Like, she's really fun to play as, and she's really sassy as well, but not in like an annoying way. She's just very like sarcastic, and I really like that. It's a staggering game. It's so good, and it's so, you think you're doing well at it, and then you realize that certain bosses just completely kick your ass, and you've just got to really like change the way you play the game.
So
it's staggeringly good.
It's obviously a game where there's a central plot and a central campaign, but then you can do loads of side missions.
Yeah, there's lots of like there's a main narrative story. You're trying to kind of track down certain people and work out what happened in the world before you were there. But there's lots of side missions. There's, you know, stuff like, oh, my brother got attacked by dinosaurs. Can you help me out? That sort of, you know, like jam. But actually, most of those missions, the side missions aren't ever as straightforward as you think they're going to be. Like, there's normally like an interesting twist, an interesting narrative, because the people of that world are like can be very deceptive and take advantage of people and stuff. So yeah, it's a really good game. Obviously, I'm enjoying it. It's beautiful to look at. It's hard, but it's really good.
Good.
Really good.
Good. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying the open world role-playing game with side missions and a main quest, and you can, you know, have companions and you can explore an interesting world. Can you see where I'm going with this?
Probably, but go on.
Well, Chris, as you know, tomorrow is the release in the UK of a certain game, Mass Effect Andromeda. So for long-term listeners of this podcast, you all know that I've been very excited for this. The Mass Effect trilogy, a lot of people will say the same thing. One of my favorite games ever. I absolutely love those games, fantastic characters, story. And obviously the third game had a lot of criticism for its ending, but yeah, still loved it though. So really excited for this. So last week, or I think it was the beginning of last week, people who had EA access were actually able to play the opening 10 hours of Mass Effect Andromeda. So this was people's first look into the game from a player point of view. And yeah, this is where the issues began, unfortunately. Where I was expecting to see people saying, this is the best thing ever, I'm honestly about to jizz my pants. The criticisms and the issues became apparent, and since then, it's just got bigger and bigger. Yeah, it's very, very sad. So I think the you must have seen these videos, Chris, of these bugs in Mass Effect.
It's really interesting that you say this, Colin, because I saw the early access stuff and I read quite a few reviews for it. But the game on Metacritic is averaging 74% at the moment. That's good. Like, that's a good score. That's, you know, that's better than.
But I guess for a game like this,
I'm surprised that people. I know there's a lot of expectation for it, but it's like as soon as some issues started to come out, the video game fan base, of which can be cruel, and when it acts en masse can be really cruel, started like, you know, on Metacritic and things like that. It's just been bombed with bad reviews, even though it's like, how are you all playing this game? And it's like, so it's frustrating to me, because I think if someone said, here's a game you're going to enjoy 74% of it, I probably wouldn't mind that. But I guess the thing is, Mass Effect is measured by a different standard, isn't it? Like, because those other games are so well renowned, and especially Mass Effect 2, which is one of the best games of all time for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the fan base for the Mass Effect series are pretty crazy. I think we can say, like,
this horrible story about this this lady who worked on as an animator, as like the lead animator.
Yeah.
Or potentially like very highly involved in the facial animations, and she's just been having like so much abusive, vile, like horrible words said to her on like different people have contacted her in different ways, and it's like, stop it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
on a video game like this, no one person makes the decisions, and it's like, it upsets me that the fan base think that an appropriate thing to do is to just like relentlessly harass one person about it.
And BioWare actually came out with a statement about this, didn't they? Saying they don't condone the sort of language and the abuse they're getting, but they also said that this person actually wasn't involved with Mass Effect Andromeda. I don't know if that's correct. So yeah, I mean, some of the things I'm seeing online on Reddit and, you know, Twitter, Facebook, it really is quite eye-opening, really, as to, in a way, it shows you how loved the series was, but then again, it says how, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a video game, isn't it? You know, it's, you know, like getting personal with people and threatening people. It's just, you know, there's no place for it, and it's just like, what? There's so many problems in the world, and like, it's a video game, and you're having to go, I don't know. It just annoyed me. And I was very sad because I like to think that the Mass Effect community is a loving community, and like sharing stories of their playthroughs and the characters they like and their romance options and the side missions. But it's sad. I mean, going back to the issues, I mean, I'll just quickly list off the issues that were had. I mean, in the main release, not the main release, sorry, the EA Access, the images and the videos that were circulating were of the facial animations being pretty poor, and that's actually continued through. Most people are actually commenting on that in reviews about the facial animations, and also a lot of people are criticizing the side quests as well. There's a lot of very samey missions, fetch missions, and things like that. But that's a big criticism. But the main thing that's got me, I mean, I'm still going to buy it. It's coming out tomorrow. Who am I kidding? I'm still going to bloody buy it. Of course I am. But the main issue for me is how, like, one of the main draws of Mass Effect was the characters and the stories and their depth. And that's an issue that a few reviewers have commented on, is how the characters, your squad, just aren't that interesting. Like, they have a bit of depth, but their voice acting is poor. There's not many new alien races. They're just, the conversations you have are quite cringy and just aren't, written very well. It's all those things have me worried, because that is the main thing that set Mass Effect apart, was the characters and the whole backstory and the connections you could make with these characters. But so that all has me a bit worried. And another point that one reviewer made is how in this game is set far in the future from the original trilogy, and you've gone to a new galaxy altogether, yet apparently there's only 2 new alien races that you encounter. All the other races are the same ones from the original Mass Effect trilogy, which is a bit strange. You would have thought they would have done a few more races. But yeah, I mean, these criticisms, I mean, reviews are, I mean, they're not terrible. There's no bad reviews. They're all just quite lukewarm. This sort of game with this sort of hype and the build up and how long it's been in production, you just expect it to have. I mean, people with games like this, a lot of people expect them to get these games to get 10 out of 10 across the board, and if it doesn't have full scores, they think, oh no, it's crap. It's crap. And to be fair, I was sort of in that mind frame a little bit when the review started coming up, just because I was so excited for it. But who am I kidding? I'm still going to buy it. I'm going to judge it for myself, and I'm expecting to love it, to be honest with you. I'll probably disagree with all the reviews, and I'll love the characters, and I'll probably bang half of my squad, and it'll be great. But wait and see.
Do you want to talk about the other really big game news of this week?
What's that then?
It's really big, Colin.
Is this the relating to Instagram?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think I need to be sitting comfortably for this, because I feel like I might just fall off my chair.
Sit comfortably at home, listeners. Well, so Colin, why don't you tell things from your perspective? What did you see on Instagram yesterday?
Well, Chris, my boy, I was doing my daily scroll through my Instagram feed. You put your thumb on the screen and you scroll on down. You look at all the images and you like a few, give them a heart. You have a little look. You look at the comments. And as I'm scrolling, I'm just absentmindedly scrolling. And I know you're doing your Project 365 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to put like the picture a day on Instagram.
So I keep an eye out for your pictures, because it's all very interesting. Because obviously you live in the big city, and you've got a lot of interesting things you do, and you always take pictures of very interesting things. So I was looking out for your picture, and then I saw your picture, and I think I almost I spat out the drink I was sipping. I was so shocked. I ran to my kitchen, got a glass of water, sipped the water, then spat it out just for dramatic effect. And I fell off my chair. I saw that. It was a picture of your phone, and you were deleting an app, but the app that you were deleting is something I never thought I would see, and I am perplexed. So, Chris, I think you can take up the story from there.
Yesterday evening, I deleted Pokemon Go from my phone. I've been playing the game every day since it came out. I adored Pokemon Go for a very long time. I caught the original selection of Kanto Pokemon. I was having quite good fun with Johto for a little while. But yesterday, I finally got fed up with it and deleted it.
Why did you get fed up?
So here's the thing, Colin, right? The reason I got fed up with the game is because I was trying to make space on my phone anyway, and it's a big file, but that's not important. The thing that annoyed me is that for a game that you are meant to be playing in your kind of whilst you're doing like walking or running or jogging, or a game that's meant to accompany you, this isn't something you can really play sat down in the same space. You're meant to be, having it on the go, and you're not always going to be looking at it as well. It's just too I'm really sorry, but it's just got to the point where it's really bloody boring, actually, because the new Pokemon came in, but it's like, oh, actually, they've added all these new Pokemon, but they've not fixed the problems that made the original game frustrating and quite menial. The gym system is still balked. It's taken over, especially in London, repeatedly by spoofers and by hackers and people who aren't actually around. And I know they're not around because I've taken gyms down before and there's been no one there to be with me. And there's already people in the gym, and it's like this isn't on. It's just boring.
How can they hack it then? Is this a thing? I didn't realize this was a thing.
You can use I don't really understand the final concepts of it, but basically you trick your phone's GPS into thinking you're somewhere that you're not. And the worst thing for me, Colin, is that it's just so intense on your battery. Like it's so intense, and it's to the point where my phone had stopped becoming my phone that I, like to charge a couple of times a week and listen to podcasts and, audiobooks and emails on, and it turned into this thing that I just had to have constantly plugged in so that I could justify spending a half hour on Pokemon Go on the way home. And it's for a game that's coming up to 9 months. We're almost, we're almost at the year mark. Not really that much has changed. And it's just gotten to the point where it's didn't really want to have it there anymore. And I will 100% when they fix certain things about it, when they fix gyms, if they bring in trading, if they bring more focus on interesting gameplay, I'll 100% get back. But especially catching all the original ones made me realize and I talked about this in a video that I did on our channel as well. It just gave me this sense of oh, what now? What now?
That's the thing.
So yeah, it's gone. Had to cut it out of my life.
Yeah, it's I mean the good thing is even if because you've deleted it, because it's all saved on your Google account, you said you can just download it again and then you're back, exactly where you left off. So
yeah, and I definitely will come back at some point. I'm not pretending. I see myself coming back at some point.
But it's interesting because the sort of time where you've decided to hang up your Pokemon trainer hat for the time being, it's the sort of time when I'm really into it. I'm playing every day. I'm walking a lot with it now because I've got more data on my phone, so I actually can. But no, the big thing has always been the battery life. It really does kill your battery, and it is. You'd think there'd be something they could do to fix that. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we've discussed this. The slow rate that they're bringing out updates really is quite ridiculous, really, considering how much money they've got and how long they've been doing it for. But the only updates we're getting, the main one we've had was the new Pokemon. That was only a few months ago. So many things they said they were going to be bringing, they just haven't done it yet. And it's obviously, in my opinion, too late now because I think they're not going to have the same popularity they did originally. It's sad. It's sad. But it's typical that you would delete it just before a new event arises. I don't know what the actual name of it is, but we're going to call it Make a Splash. So from 1 p.m. March 22nd, which is today, I think, that's American time. I'm assuming it's happening now as well. There's going to be loads of water-type Pokemons everywhere. Yay! So for Valentine's Day, we had the pink ones, and now for some reason, we're having loads of water Pokemon. So if you're low on Magikarps and Squirtles and Totodiles and other things like that, then you're in luck because they're going to be absolutely everywhere until March the 29th. So if you want to stack up on your Squirtles or get a new Gyarados or a Blastoise, then by golly, this is great news for you, isn't it? So for some reason, there's going to be more water Pokemon everywhere. And I mean, I don't really know what the reason is for this. I guess maybe they were getting a bit bored and thought, you know what, we haven't done an event in a while.
It's like water festival or something, but I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even know there was a. Well, did you know there's a Carrot Day? There's actually a National Carrot Day. I'm not even shitting you. Let me see if I can find out what the day is. Carrot Day. It's the 3rd of February. So we've missed it. Oh, that's in America. I swear there is a Carrot Day in the UK as well. International Carrot Day. Here we go. There's a website for this. It's the 4th of April. The annual International Carrot Day. So if you go to carrotday.com, you can learn all the facts and all the history of carrots. And there's even a picture of a lovely lady eating a carrot at the bottom there. So there you go. I think the moral we should take from this is that you should eat your carrots, because then you can see in the dark, and then it will help you when you're out hunting Pokemon in the dark. There you go. Brilliant. Right, so
shall we? What else do we need to talk?
Well, I need to talk to you more about Pokemon Go, because not only did we get this event, but an update's being released where now, obviously with the new Pokemon being released, there are some Pokemon you can only get with evolution stones. And that was to stop people from storing up their candies from the previous gen and then just thinking, oh, I can get all the new Pokemon straight away. So you had to work for it. You had to get...
also, it's a trademark from the game, because the idea is that certain Pokemon, they wanted a way of kind of splitting the base form into 2 or more different evolutions.
Yeah.
So there's that element of it as well. Part of the reason I quit is because I had 2 weeks in a row where I didn't get any bloody lucky items.
Honestly, like I haven't got any since they came out, so it just shows how hard they are to get. But that's going to change now, because with a recent update to the iOS and Android versions, which is the main versions, don't know why I said that. Now every time you get a 7-day streak with a Pokestop, you're guaranteed to get an evolution stone, or an evolution item they're called. So it's either Dragon Scale, King's Rock, Metal Coat, Sunstone, or things like that. So that's good to know you're definitely going to get one now. To be fair, I'm surprised this wasn't already a part of it. I mean, I've had the 7-day streak, I think quite a few times since the new Pokemon came out, and I've been doing my 7-day streak and expecting to get one, but I've not had one yet at all. So this is good. I'm really excited for this. I'm on day 5 now, I think. So day 4. So I think it's Saturday when I get my 7-day streak. So I'll be looking forward to getting that then. So it's all very exciting. So all these exciting things happening as you delete the game, Chris. So
I know. Never mind.
Crazy. Right, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, yes. Before we get into anything else, I mean, there's loads of news this week, so I'm quickly going to rattle off this one for a new iPhone that's been announced by Apple, the Red iPhone, which is being released in conjunction with Apple's charity. It's part of their Project Red campaign, where they're releasing a range of products in red, and Apple makes a contribution for every purchase to the Global Fund for HIV and AIDS program, which is Apple's charity of choice. So it's one they've always been heavily linked with. At the moment, Apple have generated over £104 million, that's $130 million through the project. So it's obviously for the greater good. And to be honest, the phone looks really cool, in my opinion. I think it looks really nice. I mean, it's just your standard iPhone 7. There's nothing new, no new features. It's just in red. But it looks really cool. And if you could,
other companies have done this as well. I remember Motorola doing it a little while ago, where they would put them out in red because it's gives money to AIDS charities. It's really I think that's quite a good move on Apple's part, because they know people will buy it whenever they do a new color. So it's like giving money to charity is quite a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
with the kind of push. I mean, it'd be better if they just gave more money to charity and properly paid their taxes. But
that would also help. That bank off the coast of Hawaii is definitely completely legit, where all their money goes into. And I mean, as well as this, they also revealed some cheaper iPads, but there's really little fanfare for this. It was such a small, low-key event. Normally, when they announce new things, there's always a big song and dance about it, but people think they're going to be saving that for the 10-year anniversary show. It's been 10 years since the first iPhone came out, and people expecting there to be a major upgrade to the iPhone, so iPhone 8, when that finally gets announced. They're saying that it could be called the iPhone X or iPhone Edition, but there's loads of rumors here as to what the new iPhone is going to be like, but we wait and see what that will be like. I mean, 10 years since, I can't believe it's been 10 years. It feels like iPhones have been around forever, really. I mean, 10 years does sound like a long time, but then it's not that long, because I can't imagine the world without smartphones now. It just seems crazy. And obviously the iPhone was the first phone that really kicked off the whole smartphone thing. And then we had the Androids and everything copied. But anyway, so new iPhone, and it's all for charity, so it's all very good. So why not go and buy one? Actually, I should probably give people the prices for these. They don't come cheap, which is not a surprise because it's an Apple product. They are going to be out on March the 24th, which is in a couple of days' time from when we're recording. And they're going to start at £700. So that's $699 for the cheapest model for the iPhone 7. So there you go. Right, so that was cool. What else are we going to talk about? So, I mean, let's get on to the main news then. I mean, we touched on Nintendo Switch stuff, but I just want to tell you, Chris, that the left Joy-Con is absolutely fine.
Yes, I've heard, Colin. Good news. The left Joy-Con is absolutely fine.
It's fine. There's
It's
nothing
fine.
wrong with it.
Stop asking. It's fine.
It's absolutely fucking fine. There's nothing wrong. That's what Nintendo wants you to think, but the fact is there are some issues. Quite a few people have been complaining. There's been some YouTubers as well who got review copies of the Switch. I've been saying the same thing, that there are some desyncing issues with the left Joy-Con. Like if you move it in a certain way or move away from the screen, the little tablet, then it will lose sync with it quite quickly and quite dramatically, even though you're right next to it. So Nintendo aren't admitting it. People keep questioning them on it, and they just refuse to even mention that there is an issue. They're just saying, "Oh no, there's some faulty ones. It's nothing. Yeah, it just happens." But no, there's so many people who are reporting this. But this article on Business Insider actually said that someone from CNET, so the senior editor of CNET, he went to customer support to complain about this, and apparently Nintendo fixed it straight away for him. So there you go. So I don't know. I mean, this article says that Nintendo will fix your faulty left cons for your Nintendo Switch, but I mean, it might have been the fact that he was the senior editor for CNET, but I don't know if they'll do this for anyone else, but we waited to see. But I've also seen some rumors that they've actually changed the manufacturing process now. So this issue, they found a flaw in the design of the left Joy-Con. So in future ones, this won't be an issue, which sort of is a bit of an FU to people who bought it, early.
Yeah.
So
you think that they should offer to replace it for free, which it sounds like they're probably doing.
Yeah. I mean, on Nintendo's help website, they initially suggested that this is true. This is actually what Nintendo said. They suggested that the issues with the left Joy-Con could have stemmed from something as simple as using the Switch near an aquarium, close to laptops, microwaves, or cell phones. So be careful if you're playing your Switch by your aquarium, because you're not going to have a good time. What the hell? What? Why? I can understand laptops, microwaves, and cell phones, but why aquariums? Can you answer that for me? Why would an aquarium?
Is it because of the glass?
I don't know. Is there radiation coming out of them? Are fish slowly emitting rays? They're going to kill us all? I just don't get it. But yeah, that's all we know for now. So Nintendo aren't admitting anything's wrong. There isn't a batch issue or anything. But potentially they are going to fix it for you if you ask them. So there we go. So that was the main Nintendo. Oh, no, we've got something else. There's an article that Chris has put in. What is this about? Ubisoft? What's going on?
Well, I only know a very little, but basically Ubisoft aren't sure what they want to do with the Nintendo Switch, so they want your input. You at home, me in front of the computer, anyone.
That's normies.
Any input. Basically, they only really brought out Just Dance for it, and there's talk of an updated version of Rayman Legends. But some people have been getting emails from Ubisoft where they're asking for surveys about it. There's more information on the Reddit. If you want to get involved, then it looks like that's the place to go to. Hopefully, people will say, like, it's on the Switch, but we shall see.
Why?
So I've got hiccups.
On this image, on this article, why is there a picture of Liam Neeson in the top right?
Yeah, it's odd. That's odd, isn't it? That is odd.
That's him as Ra's al Ghul, isn't it? From Batman.
That is him as Ra's al Ghul, yeah. Oh, by the way, sorry, really, I know we're already long and we've got loads to talk about today.
Yeah.
But you saying Ra's al Ghul reminded me. Have you watched Iron Fist yet on Netflix?
No, I keep hearing I'm hearing mixed things. Some people love it, some people absolutely hate it. What are your thoughts on it? I'm guessing you've watched a bit of it.
I'm only like 5 episodes in, so I think that's just under half, and it's really not good at the moment. It's
really? I thought you could say the opposite. What's wrong with it?
It's really like cheesy, and also like the main character has got this really horrible, like, he's really like immature, I guess. So
Right.
like he comes. I'm partly. I know there's been big discussions about should he have been played by an Asian American, which I do think he should have been played by. But even like the character is just so like privileged and horrible. Like he comes back, okay, so he comes back after 15 years to New York, right?
Yeah.
And he 15 years, that's a long time.
Mm.
This is the first episode, and he comes back to like Colin Industries, or the industry named after him.
Brilliant.
And he walks in and he's like, I want to see the boss. And then everyone thinks obviously he's mad and like calls the police, and he's surprised when they do that. And it's like, why do you think they're doing it, you moron? Yeah, it's really not good. It's also like, I find it really hard, I guess frustrating to watch, because all the other Netflix Marvel heroes are like kind of street level, like struggling to pay their rent, and it's like, you know, there's a real kind of element of it adds an extra punch to the fact that they're doing all this superhero stuff. And then you've got Danny Rand, who's like a billionaire and just like buys. It's just really. I'll watch it because some parts are cool. Jessica Henwick's really good in it, but for the most part, it's really poor. Really poor.
Is it as bad as the scene from Spider-Man 3 where Peter Parker
with the dance?
Goes down the street and dances and has an emo haircut? Is it as bad?
Well, I love that scene, so I would argue that nothing is on that level.
Fantastic. Yeah, as you said,
anyway,
it's a shame because I think Daredevil is one of the best shows on Netflix. I absolutely love Daredevil. It's fantastic. I still haven't watched Luke Cage or Jessica Jones, but one day. But they're all going to be going into the Defenders, aren't they? That's a show that's coming out next year. They're all part of that world. Is that right? I think it's the same world.
Yeah, Defenders comes out in the summer.
Oh, summer. Oh God, not long to wait then. I thought it was still a while away because this one's just come out. Well, that's a shame. It's weird because most things on Netflix, like these series that are produced for Netflix, are normally pretty good. You know, they're normally reviewed well and they're made well, but maybe this is just a misfire for some reason. But yeah, I mean, you're 4 episodes in, so you're hating it, but you're still watching it. So maybe they are doing something right then.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. I'm a glutton for punishment, you know?
Yeah, I still haven't watched season 3 of BoJack. I need to do that as well. So many things I need to watch. Right, so that's our news on Netflix. So thank you for listening to Heroes of Netflix. Goodbye. Right, so we've talked about everything with that. So I've only got one bit of Vita news. So Chris, do you want to give me some Nintendo news very quickly? Let's rattle off some.
Yeah, okay. So the first bit to know is that there's a new Fire Emblem coming out, which is like a kind of relaunch of a couple of the older games. It's coming out on 3DS later on this year, and there's a limited edition has been announced for it. We'll embed the tweet. It looks really cool. It comes with amiibos and CDs and art books and little brooches. What are those badge things called?
Brooches. Yes.
It comes with some of those. It looks quite nice. You can actually, I think you can order it on the Nintendo Store. I'm just looking at the price now. The website is quite slow, but it's also available in America as well if you wish to order it. Can you order limited edition? Oh, it doesn't say. May 19th it comes out though, so keep your eyes peeled on the Nintendo site for that. There'll be Fire Emblem kids who will be creaming their jeans over this. I've never really played the older ones. Like the DS ones were my first kind of step into the world, but I'd like to get into this. So yeah, that's cool. And as I say, it's coming out in May, and limited edition is out in the UK and in North America as well. Speaking of kind of Japanese soaked games, Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology has been announced for the 3DS.
My fave.
This in Gamatsu via Famitsu. It comes out in Japan on June 29th. It's a teaser website. It's a full remake of a DS game with a lineup of voice actors from the original one, enhanced graphics, better visuals, all sorts. It looks quite interesting. You can watch the trailer on our website. It's going to cost 6,998 yen, so I don't know how much that is.
For the current exchange rate, it's about £2.50.
Oh, good. Well, that's super cheap then. So yeah, it comes out in Japan on June 29th. Should I just do? I'll soak you in news, Colin. I'm gonna make your body sweat with 3DS news.
Moisten my body with Nintendo news, please.
6180 The Moon is made by Turtle Cream Games and comes out.
That's my favorite type of soup.
Comes out March Another trailer space. It's out, I think, but I thought it was anyway. It's out in Japan soon. It's out in March, I think. Now 6180 The Moon. It's called, and it's like a platformer where you play as the moon. But the twist is that you can jump between both the screens. It's kind of like Portal, I guess. So you build momentum by falling from the top of the top screen down through the bottom screen and use that to your advantage. There'll be things to dodge and things to hit and kind of ways to work your way around. It looks really interesting.
Music's nice.
I think Portal is probably the comparison to make. It's 2D. Yeah, it's called 6180 The Moon, and like I said, it's made by Turtle Cream Games.
So it looks like the sort of thing you would play on addictinggames.com or miniclip.com.
Yeah, it's got that kind of cheery vibe to it. Yeah, it looks really good. I would. I don't know why I didn't speak. Maybe I just missed it in the news last week. I think that's probably what happened.
Probably.
But anyway, that's all my news this week.
That is quite special, Chris. Oh, England.
I think you're quite special, Colin.
Oh, thank you. Is it offside? Is he offside? No. Oh, he's going to score. No, he didn't score.
Is this England, Germany?
Yeah, England, Germany. On in the background, mate.
What's the score?
0-0.
Oh.
The problem with England is... Anyway, right. So let's do some Vita news. Not much to talk about this week, apart from a very interesting game that has been announced, which is a fantasy RPG called Revenant Saga, which is coming to Vita in the spring. It's a gothic fantasy RPG, and it's from Create. Releasing in spring, it's going to cost $9.99. That's the price it's actually on Steam at the moment, so probably be around that sort of price when it comes to Sony devices as well. It offers 30 hours of gameplay, and in the game you play as Albert, who must travel through a world filled with the fast-spreading plague and the monstrous revenants. Throughout the journey, you'll be able to join forces with allies, use an in-battle transformation system, take part in subquests and more. And yeah, it looks very cool. And some of the features that have been listed is it has stunning 3D battles. You can transform and lay waste to the enemy, and you can customize your weapons. So it looks very interesting. There is a trailer as well, which we'll put on the article for this week's podcast. But to be brutally honest with you, it just looks like every other Japanese RPG game. There you go. So it's RPG thumbs up.
Can't wait to play it.
Can't wait to get into the world of revenants and kill boar and battle Native American Indians and eat a bison. You get it? Nice. Right. So is that it? Are we done? Is that? Oh, there we go.
I had to leave it long enough for you to say something else.
Brilliant.
What a treat.
What?
So it's weird. It's a weird week this week, isn't it? Not a whole lot of 3DS and Vita news.
Yes, but a whole lot of gaming news with you playing Horizon and Mass Effect coming out. I'm going to probably buy Mass Effect over the weekend, and I'll hopefully be able to give it a whirl before next week. I hope, but that's if I can pencil it into my busy schedule too.
The fates align.
Yeah, there we go. Right, so Chris, what should you tell the good people before we leave? There's lots of things you need to say, and you're going to do it all this week because I believe in you.
At Handheld Podcast on Twitter, if you want to tweet us. Heroes of Handheld at gmail.com. Send us an email. Send us if you're playing stuff, send us reviews of it, and we'll happily read them out because we like to get another perspective here on the show. There's a Facebook page, search for Heroes of Handheld. There's a YouTube page, search for Heroes of Handheld. You can read the articles and listen to old episodes. heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com is where you go for that. Colin's actually about to leave to launch Colin's Last Stand. There'll be a Patreon if you want to oh no, wait, that's the wrong video games Colin, isn't it? I think that's all the news and everything for this week. Thanks very much to the Schnauzer Radio Orchestra, whose excellent theme, Insert Coin, has been the motif for this program for many years and will be for many years to come.
Awkward. Anyway, go on.
I thought you'd pick up on my Colin's Last Stand gag.
I didn't get it.
You're following that story.
I didn't get it.
I'll tell you off air.
I didn't get it. I don't
the other bit of news is that a really interesting thing to watch if you're into Heroes of Handheld is when we go live on a Wednesday night, the Twitter feed likes to do an automatic update. And
I saw this as well. Yeah, I don't really know why it does it. Like, I mean, before it's been in French and before it's been Italian, but today, as Chris said, it's in Russian for some reason. I don't even know how this happens. Like there must be. I don't know. I have to do some experimenting and looking into it. But I want to have a look at the text, how it reads, well, or how it looks. So let's have a look. So if you look on our Twitter, why is there a backwards R? Doesn't make any sense. Great. That is some fucked up writing, isn't it? That's a fucked up language. Anyway, and at the end it says ha. Look. Ha. Look. Oh, ha. It says ha at the end.
I know it's hard to read if you're coming from an Anglican perspective.
It really is. Anyway. Oh, Miss God. Right, thank you for listening, everybody. We're back next time, next week, same time, same place. If you've been playing Mass Effect, let us know your thoughts, and it would really be intrigued to know if you're liking it, if you're from America, and you've already had a chance to give it a whirl. So yeah, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll be all great. We'll be feeling better in ourselves because we would have played Mass Effect, and all the haters would have been crushed like a bug. Bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Can't find the thing to stop. I can't find it. I can't.